presentation is brought to you by Smoooth Productions.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to another edition of Smoooth Conversations, where the conversations are always smooth. It is your boy Smooth. That is Smooth with 3 O's. And thank you all for tuning in to another edition. Happy New Year. I hope that your 2026 so far has been amazing, and hope and pray that it continues to be amazing throughout this year. For those who are watching for the very first time or tuning in, because you could be listening also. But if y'all tune in for the very first time, thank y'all very much. I appreciate it. This show is all about showing love. We always see people who are doing things on stages, on TV, on social media, in radio, any kind of platform, but we never get that opportunity to really get the story and their reason and the CEO, where they came from as a youngin', to what they've been through or gone through and what they're doing down the line. And that's what this show is all about, is getting that journey and also showing flowers, or should I say giving flowers as well. So that's what Smoooth Conversations is all about. And this show is all about interacting. So throughout this wonderful, amazing episode coming up, I encourage each and every one of y'all who's watching to go ahead and leave comments. If you have stories that you want to share in regards to our special guests, questions, comments, just want to shower this woman with all the love that she deserves. The opportunity to do so is tonight, because your comments will be shown on the screen as long as I approve of it. But in the meantime, I need everyone right now to go ahead and scan the QR code and connect with any and all things Smoooth Productions. You have Smooth Moments. So if y'all need some wonderful photography, videography, drone services, it's amazing. Everything I do is very smooth. That's Smooth at 3 O's. Y'all need that? I got y'all. Scan the QR code. I also have a sports talk show network called the Platform Sports Talk Show. In April, it will be 9 years of consistent Wednesday night sports delight. Every Wednesday, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. Been having such an amazing array of guests. I have an amazing panel as well. I have every first Wednesday of the month, Ladies Night, where I have an all-ladies panel. I call it the best panel of ladies who love sports, and they truly know their stuff. You can try if you want to, but they know their stuff. Every last Wednesday of the month, I have the Man Cave, where it's all the fellas, and I say where anything can go down. And it's truly, I truly mean that, y'all. Anything can go down. We've had, once again, A-listers on that show, personalities, former players, coaches, current players, the whole nine. So check that out, y'all. Also, KBDR Beat District Radio. So when I say tuned in, you could be watching or you could be listening right now on KBDR Beat District Radio, the first the first Black-owned St. Louis online radio station, hailing from the heart of Ferguson, right inside Gamers Island. Shouts out to the Beat District Radio family. For those who can't scan, because you may be listening right now, just go to smoothproductions.com, Smooth with 3 O's, and check out all the links. Connect with me, save me as a contact, and let's do some amazing things. Continuing on with Beat District Radio, you see right there, you have Beat District Radio, the website, beatdistrictradio.com, or you can also download the app on Google Play and the App Store, and the quality is amazing. Everything is high definition. It's truly an amazing website and app as well. Then, of course, Smoooth Conversations on YouTube. Go ahead and like, subscribe, share, spread the word. Not right now, but right now. And then lastly, it goes to Beat District Radio. If you want to have an ad placed on the station, whether it's during the day, midday, nighttime, whatever it is, or you want to sponsor one of the many shows like Smoooth Conversations, or with the show that you heard before me, which is Rhythm and Flow. Shouts out to JD, the DJ. We have comedy shows. I know one of the shows that is a comedy show, our special guest knows, the host. of that show. We'll talk about that very soon. But we have so many great shows, teen radio shows, so many DJ shows that we have on Beat District Radio. So you want to sponsor or you want to have your own business displayed by placing an ad on one of our shows, shoot us an email, info@beatdistrictradio.com. Once again, info@beatdistrictradio.com. You'll receive a corresponding email. You fill out a form. Let us know, hey, I want to be on prime time. So then in between shows, you'll hear an ad placed in regards to your business or whatever you're doing. So that's what we're all about. We're about the community and doing big things, man. And we have a lot of big things in store coming in 2026. So enough with the promo. It's game time, y'all. And the reason why some of y'all may be first timers, once again, thank you for tuning in. I appreciate it. Share. Let's get as many people tuned in right now to enjoy a smooth conversation with this lady, the young lady, I'm gonna say, that I've known for over 10 years. We'll discuss how we know each other. But all I see her do, which I feel like tonight is going to be like the theme of this episode, is growth. And that's all I see this woman have done since day one that I met her, is continue to grow and get into her own and make a name for herself and do amazing things while she's making a name for herself. But she is a yogini. She is a writer, a poet, a singer, a rapper, director. She had an album come out back in 2019. We'll talk about that as well. She also has sound healing sessions. So if y'all be watching TV or seeing those things online where you have the bowl and you have the item and you hit the bowl and make the sounds, she does all that and some, y'all. She has a wellness brand, Flowing with Fluid. Y'all don't know about it, you're gonna find out. But she's always been very humble, very kind to me since day one. And it's an honor for me to have her join the show, for her to take time out. And now it's time for y'all to hear her story told on Smoooth Conversations, where the conversations are always smooth. The one, the only, Miss Fluid. Ma'am, how are you doing? And let me add you on to the screen. 1, 2, 3, bam. Good evening, ma'am.
Hey, good evening. Buenas noches.
Go. She come with the language and everything, y'all. You've been traveling all around the world from what I've been seeing, and you probably learned so many languages now. Is that right?
I'm trying to, yes, of course. I want to know as many languages as possible.
That's what's up, man. And like I said in the pre-show, thank you for taking time. I know that you've had a busy schedule. Usually when I do Smooth Conversations, I love to do the in-person thing, but I think you were telling me that you were making plans to go out of town, or you're already out of town. Is that correct?
I'm always out of town.
Yeah, there we go.
In the States briefly right now, but I'll be leaving again soon. But I'm in North Carolina, so I'm still not in St. Louis right now. So yeah.
North Carolina. How's the weather out there right now?
It's colder than what I like, but I'm here.
Uh-oh.
I need the tropics. That's why I moved to a tropical place, because I don't do well in the cold.
Okay. So how long have you been removed from St. Louis?
I'm always in St. Louis, so I'm back and forth. I consider myself to be a nomad, even though I don't really like that term, because I would say that I live everywhere. It's not that I don't have a home and I have no home. I live everywhere. So I've been in and out of St. Louis since I left for the Navy at 18, to be honest with you. So yeah.
That's what's up. And it reminds me of one of my best friends. He was in a band called Witherwork, and it's like a folk type band, but he and his bandmate, they pretty much didn't have like a straight home base. They were always just on the go. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes they had to reach out to people like, hey, can you give us a spot that we can stay at tonight, or be in a trailer, whatever it is. But they were loving what they were doing because they were always on the go, and they didn't have like that straight set home. So I know you said no, man, you don't like the name, so we don't call that. We're gonna say this just living free,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
enjoying life. You know what I'm saying? So that's amazing. And I know that it's a pretty amazing journey to be able to go to always be out and about, especially doing things that you love to do. Is that right?
Yes, yes, for sure. Mm-hmm.
That's what's up, man. So I was saying before in the intro that I've been fortunate to know you for quite some time. So the pretty much the backstory, and please let me know if I'm incorrect. But I recall the first time that we crossed paths was Word Up. I was
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I was a DJ, and of course energy and everything. And that's when I saw you make your to me your debut in regards to just getting out there in front of people and holding things down. So if you can recall, just talk about from your experience first, of course, meeting me and seeing what I brought to Word Up, but then your experience being part of Word Up as well.
Yeah, so I met you right when I came home from being in the Navy. And that was kind of my debut as like the new version of myself because I first did spoken word with Lewis Confliction at
Mm.
Legacy Books and Cafe. And so that was to me my first debut, but I changed so much while I was in the military that when I came back, also St. Louis was brand new. St. Louis changed so much when I was in the Navy too. So it was like I was debuting the newest version of myself. And, I hadn't heard of Word Up. I didn't know anything about it. So that was actually my first time at Word Up, and I like the music that you played. The vibes was right. Like it was real sexy in there the way that they had the lighting and everything, and then you had the smooth music going. So yeah, yeah.
Hey, I appreciate it, man. And I know one of the pieces that I remember, and it's funny because I saw it when I was doing the promo this morning for you, and I said, "What's the name of that one piece that she would do that just have everyone go crazy?" Then I saw it on IG, and it was Kryptonite.
I
And,
just knew you was about to say Kryptonite. Yep.
hey, let's just
Yeah.
say it was a fan favorite. Okay, but
Yeah.
you talked about pretty much rebranding yourself. What made you want to rebrand yourself after you came from the Navy?
Well, honestly, I feel like we're always growing, and with that growth, we're gonna have a new brand. We're gonna rebrand every single time. And for me, I'm still always myself. So even though we call it a rebrand, it's really just me evolving. It's to me everything really speaks to me and my journey. So, I actually wrote Kryptonite while I was in the Navy. It was two
Mm.
different poems, and I put both of the poems together. And I knew I had something good. When I put them both together, I knew I had something good. So then just coming back to St. Louis, and I had performed my poems all over the country while I was in the Navy. At every station, I always found an open mic because that was my home, my safe place to express myself. And so when I came home, I just was really looking to find my people again. And so I found my place and I found my people in the open mics. I love how the open mic scenes always change, and they always bring different groups of people together. And that was a really fun period of my life, coming back, not really like having my old friends from like when I was from before I went to the Navy, but then coming back and meeting other people who really spoke more to my creative side, and we just had a lot of fun. So it was beautiful, and we inspired each other too. That's the
Yeah.
great thing about artist friends.
And that's one of the main things that I will always be grateful for in regards to Word Up is that it was never a place or a space where you felt pressured to be great at that time. You know what I'm saying? It was an opportunity for you to get your feet wet, get all the nerves out, get all the, whatever that you want to work out to do that at Word Up, and you wasn't judged. It wasn't like a boo, get off the stage type thing. It was always about love. So I will always appreciate what Word Up brought, and it gave me an opportunity to meet so many great people like yourself and so many others. Being able to network and I mean, I've had so many people like yourself to be on this show because of what Word Up did, and it helped me in my career as a DJ, and getting opportunities to do other kind of shows like comedy shows and other spoken word shows and the whole nine. So, Word Up has definitely been amazing. As you look back, because I talked about this with Lewis and so many other spoken word artists who's been a part of Word Up and just the open mic scene. You brought up legacy books. Talk about for you how special of a place and time it was during the early 2000s, maybe 2010 era for you, and how special Legacy Books was at that time.
Yeah, shoot, I was only 16 years old, but that was the first place that I felt like I could really express myself. So I used to write, but I really didn't express myself through my words. And so I was looking for a place to feel comfortable doing that. And my sister used to go because she knew Lewis. And so she brought me there and for my debut, for my first time going. And I just remember coming in and being like, oh, this is grown and sexy. I like this. And I love seeing all the books on the walls. And it just felt like a really homey vibe. And then Lewis is hilarious and he's so talented
Yeah.
and humble and just welcoming. And so it really made me feel comfortable coming in and really expressing and um, finally speaking up about things that had happened to me. And yeah, it really, I just remember feeling like at home and relieved that I could, nervous, definitely nervous, but also relieved that I had a space that I could finally share some things that I had never told anybody.
Yeah, that's amazing. And a couple of things I love to bring about legacy books is especially during like the heyday when it was that place to be, especially on Friday nights, and then of course on Tuesdays the Word Up. But it was like on Friday nights when I was a part of the band Soul Era. We used to be the house band, and we pull up and you see Delmar just packed, from the parking lot all the way down Delmore going to Union, and you knew that it was just going to be a whole vibe that night. And then second, one of the best features that Legacy Books had at that time were them chicken wings. My oh my goodness. When I say I had to make it a mission before I did anything else, I had to get them wings because them wings were See, now I'm getting hungry just thinking about it right now.
Yeah, those wings were good.
Woo.
I don't eat wings anymore, but I used to eat wings back then, and I used to tear them wings up.
Man,
They fried them just right.
man, every time I was like, man, let me go and just get 2 orders of wings because it's gonna be one of them nights. But it was definitely a vibe. But also just talk about how special the poetry scene, spoken word scene was during your beginning times of being a spoken word artist.
So I say that in the very beginning, when I really just knew about Lewis open mic, I didn't even know about Word Up at that time. But when I really felt like I got into like the open mic scene was when I came back from the Navy and I started going to Word Up, and then Corey Black had a open mic. I think it was Poetic Justice,
Right, right.
and I was faithful. Like I would be up in all of the open mics all the time. And so I really just found my people. I found people who inspired me. I was constantly writing. And then, once people found out that I had a voice on me, it was like, oh girl, what you doing? You need to be singing, you need to be doing that. And so it encouraged me to also then do voice lessons and to really tap into the fact that you do poetry, which means that you can rap, and you have a voice, you can actually sing, girl. Like, you need to be doing more than what you actually doing. But I had a lot of throat chakra blockages back then. And so now, or even during that time, I was really working through learning how to be confident in expressing myself and not feeling like I needed to hold back and hold everything in. So it was a really special and needed time for me.
And as you were coming to your own, talk about as a woman, because we know being in front, you know what I'm saying, on stage and being a woman, that's a whole different brand. You know what I'm saying? It's a whole different look, it's a whole different feel, it's a whole different type of pressure. So talk about for you how it feels to be on stage doing your thing, but of course, maybe being objectified because of how you look, because of how you sound, because of the pieces that you would share on stage. Talk about that from your point of view and how you were able to overcome that or master that.
I would say that I've always had a lot of big brothers, and also people don't mess with my sister. So,
Try
people ain't trying me like that.
You know, do you know what my peoples are?
And they did. So, I felt very protected in that. And then even like my friend groups are always co-ed. So my friends aren't gonna let anything happen to me either. And of course, there's always those people. And especially when they like in particular, I had someone who was introduced to me, and they were like, the person who introduced him was like, oh, he's a famous photographer, he's done this and that, and he was saying that he really wanted to work with me. And when someone has your number and they can have a private conversation with you, things become a little different. They're not gonna do it in person. They're not gonna disrespect you around all your people. But if they can find a way to get in there and be creepy, then they may do that. And it was just, people asking me to do things that were inappropriate. I could easily say no and like identify the fact that like you're actually asking me to do porn. I'm not doing that with you.
Wow.
So, there's always going to be those people that hide in the shadows and try to creep and get their way in. So you have to be vigilant as a woman. You have to make sure that I would say that I'm also very blessed because having big brothers and having a big sister that everybody respected taught me a lot about the game. They weren't going to let me just be out here as cute as I am and not know the game. So, I definitely got schooled on a lot of things, and I believe that protected me a lot. By the time I was out of the Navy, it was nothing they could do. Now, before the Navy, it
That
was
part.
definitely some stuff. But after the
Yeah.
Navy, they weren't trying me like
Mm-mm.
that.
Like, what you say? I didn't hear you.
Right.
You want to do what? Say it one more time.
Right. But I will say, as I started to like get into more scenes and things started to evolve to where I was given more opportunities that would pay me a lot more money and put me in rooms with more people who are like called celebrities and whatnot. Um, when I got into those spaces, that's
Mm.
when I really saw like, oh, y'all want me to do some creepy, nasty stuff. No, I don't want to do that. And I don't have to because I'm free. So you can't leverage this power or this dangle um celebrity or money or anything in front of me. You can't dangle fame in front of me and think that I'm just going to do whatever to get that because I'm not. If I can't stand in the fullness of who I am, then I'm not going to do it because money is not my God. I get money, but money serves me actually. So, yeah.
So, with that being said, when did you realize your worth in regards to how much you were going to start charging people for your talents to do this, to do that?
Mm, when did I start doing that? I'm pretty sure somebody taught me the game. And I want to say that it was probably Lewis. I
Mm.
feel like Lewis probably helped me with figuring out or just making sure. I know whenever he wants somebody to be a feature, he's going to let you know how much you're going to get paid, and he's going to send the bowl around so that people can tip you even more.
Yep.
So I would say that he's probably the first person that showed me that you make money in this. And, he also traveled the country and made money doing poetry. So I think that following him and watching him is what really showed me, like, actually, you should be getting paid to do this. Like, people want you to be a feature. They're putting you on a flyer. People are coming to see you. So, yes, you should get paid for what you're doing. And my sister has a very big business mind. So, if I ever have any questions about how much I should be getting paid for something, she's always got like some ideas for that too.
So you brought up your sister a few times. Go ahead and give her a shout out. You might as well.
Yeah, so you can find her everywhere on I Am Quiche. She's inspired me and so many other people so much. And now she's finally putting herself in the forefront. She's doing her thing with modeling, and she has a poetry album that she just released. And she's doing a lot of great things. So check her out if you don't know who she is. I'm surprised if you don't know who she is. You know me, you most likely know my sister. So yes, I got two sisters, but I'll bring up my other sister later.
That's what's up. Yeah, and I haven't met her, I believe, in person, but I definitely know of her. So shouts out to her.
Really?
Yeah, yeah,
I'm
yeah.
surprised. Okay, but you've met Candace because Candace
Oh
was on
yeah,
your show.
right.
Hmm.
Exactly. And she talked about Keisha as well. So yeah. Um, once again, this smooth conversations where the conversations are always smooth. Um, who would you say outside of Lewis? I know you brought up Corey Black, but who are some other spoken word artists that you were inspired by or maybe helped you along the way as you were getting to your own?
I would say Unlimited.
Mm,
I remember her telling me this was at somewhere off of Delmar. It was a bar. It wasn't Legacy. It was down a little bit more by where Lots of Glory and everything is now, I think. Um, I can't think of the name, but Lewis was having another open mic there. And Unlimited came up to me. This was when I was fresh on the scene. And
mhm.
she told me that my superpower is my transparency in my words, because I'm a very honest person. But her telling me that really made me hone in on making sure that I am staying true in everything that I say and everything, all the poetry, all the music, everything that I put out, to stay true to that, because that is my superpower, is my honesty, my truth, and my transparency, and the way that I'm able to make things relatable for all types of people. And also now more recently, I would say T Spirit. I
Yeah,
love T Spirit. I love how she puts words together. I love her enthusiasm in everything that she does. And her words are very powerful. Let's see, who else? Who else? I have more, but those are the two. I'm gonna stick with those two right now.
I love it. Yeah, so shouts out. So another Keisha, pretty
Another
much.
Keisha, right? Yeah, and she has a store now too, and she's
Yeah,
does open mics up there. So I was able to do one of her open mics before I left last time, so that was cool. Yeah.
that's what's up. So speaking about the spoken word version, but I want to take it all the way back, all the way to childhood. And if you can recall, what would you say was some of your biggest takeaways during your childhood?
Biggest takeaways during my childhood, um, like now,
So
now in hindsight, looking back,
yeah, exactly.
okay, to never let anybody silence you, and that your silence doesn't make you safe.
Mm. So because that says a whole lot right there. So how would you describe your childhood?
Um, I've actually just now kind of come to terms with the fact that I had a very traumatic childhood.
Mm,
It took me a while to even want to share the the dark side of my life. I've always really like pacified what I've been through. And, it was for a long period of my life, there was abuse in many forms. So each different periods of my life had different types of abuse. And, physical abuse from my brother, verbal abuse from my father. And, you know, when I would speak up about what my brother was doing, everybody took it as normal sibling fighting, even though that was not what was going on.
Uh-huh.
And then with my father, it was kind of like, this is the situation, and we just got to learn how to live within it. And you know, feeling silence and like not being believed fully when I was talking about what my brother would do, and then being silenced verbally and put down verbally from my father, where he didn't want me to sing in the house. It was very much like, you need to be quiet. Like, and
Mhm.
like talking bad about me. So like that was what made me not want to sing and like hide my voice and everything like that.
And not saying that I knew you personally, just knew of you in regards to what you brought to the stage and everything, but just looking at your bio, and especially when I saw that you began doing like writing and practicing yoga at a young age because it helped you to for healing and self-expression. So I
Hmm.
think that self healing and self-expression was what stood out. So I'm glad that I asked, but I'm also glad or appreciates, should I say, for you to be transparent in regards to acknowledging what you've been through as a child, because it's hard for anyone to want to go ahead and hone in and say, you know what, I've been through that and it's time to share my story. What made you decide to want to go ahead and share the traumatic experiences?
Really AJ McQueen. AJ McQueen talks a lot in his music about what he's been through, and the fact that him sharing his story is not a diss to anybody, it's not him being disrespectful to anybody. Like, this is what he's been through. So it's not like, I love my family, so I can share my story without feeling like I'm putting other people down. Like, this is what happened. So like I can stand in the full power of myself because I need to heal for myself. So knowing that, this is something that all of us went through, that, all of us experienced, um whether you were the protagonist or antagonist, or
Mhm.
whether you were giving or receiving end of what happened. This is reality, and in order for everybody to heal from it, we do have to speak up about it.
And with what you went through with your brother and your father, how hard was it or still is to trust in men?
um I mean, honestly, I give myself a lot of props for how much trust I still have, because then later on in life I dealt with a lot of sexual abuse, but from non-family members. But I would say that I still have so many great men in my life. So it
Mhm.
really just taught me how to protect myself. And I shouldn't have to, but this is the world that we are living in today. So it really just taught me how to look out for certain things. And I had certain breaking points where, like, I thought that I was on the other end of ever experiencing abuse again, and then I experienced abuse again, and that sent me on a whole downward spiral. But honestly, I've always had really good men in my life, even though I had men who were not good to me. And that just taught me that people are people. You can't judge all of a gender because of certain people within that gender. And I'm just very grateful for the good men that I had in life, because, they are really good men, and they are the ones that keep me hopeful in men.
That's what's up, man. I love it. And it's nothing to be like rah rah about, but I do want to say, um, congratulations in regards to being that strong survivor and what you're going through. You know what I'm saying? Because I know I can't relate to it in regards to what you've been through, but there could be someone right now who's watching or listening or will be checking out this episode and hearing what you have experienced is going to give them that inspiration to you know, say, you know what, I wasn't the only one. And I see that she's surviving it, she's being better. I'm going to do the same thing too. So just salute to you for everything, because like I say, you didn't have to say it, you didn't have to bring it up, but you know, I think transparency, especially nowadays in this world, is so crucial. Especially with the world that we're living in, we know that our days are numbered. You know what I'm saying? And we had to live every day to our fullest. But I believe it goes to the whole being transparent, living out your truth, but also it helps with your mental, because we see so many things nowadays in the world and how we're hearing about mental health and how it's affecting especially our culture. So it's very important for us to be able to speak out and feel free to do so. So with that being said, from your perspective, talk about the importance of letting go and the importance of dealing with mental health.
It is very important. Because I could have lost my mind a few times.
Right.
I actually did lose my mind a few times. But um I would say that yoga and returning to my breath is what really kept me grounded. And finding things that help me return to my center. And knowing that my life is truly unique. A lot of my life, I didn't really realize how it wasn't normal to go through the things that I went through. And, that I should not have had to go through those things. But also, like, me being on the other end of it, the fact that I made it through,
Mm.
that's the hardest part, is just making it through, because there was a lot of times where I didn't want to be here anymore. I didn't want to deal with the thoughts. I didn't want to, I didn't want to face those shadows. But then after coming on to the other end of that and like surviving that and staying here, um, because of the love and respect that I have for my mother and the people that I know truly love me, and then finding it within myself to do it for me after doing it for them, like just staying on this earth for them, finding a way to stay on the earth for me. That was really the beginning of my healing, to where, like, because I use yoga and breath work to help me cope and to help me stay here. But it took a while before I was able to be okay with still being here. And once I found it within myself, reasons that I do want to be here, um, that was when more reasons started to come of why I should be here. More experiences came that I would literally cry in happiness that I stayed here to experience. Because if I would have took my own life, I would not have experienced those things. I
Mm.
experienced so much beauty. There's so much beauty out here. And all we have to do is just continue to live our best lives and find what makes us want to live. And then all of the beauty just starts to come. All of the beauty starts to surround us. And I don't even know what your question was anymore, but
Hey, it's all good. It's all good.
yeah, just sticking it out and me finding my purpose. And also, I mean, yoga found me. So really just being open to the alignment and the divine direction and protection that was put on my life. Because even before I was thinking about taking my own life, there was times where I almost lost my life,
Mm.
from drinking too much and driving. And, it was 3 times specifically. And the last time that I almost died, and I don't even know how the car stopped before I got hit by a semi, I was like, okay, this is the time where I need to stop. And I
Mm.
need to really care. And, and I don't even know where I'm going with this no more, but
Oh
you
no,
just,
it's
yeah.
it's it's, it's natural. I love what you're doing because this is what people need to hear and see. So continue to allow God to use you because that's what He's doing right now.
Yeah. But when I look at my life now, I just sit back in awe, like, girl, this is really your life. Like, you are really free, to be free to the point where I am not taking any job or any form of slavery. I don't need to do anything that does not align with me. I can fully walk in my purpose and walk in the fullness of my power because I didn't let anything break me.
Mm.
I didn't let anything stop me from pressing forward. I continued, even if I didn't know, I was just living off credit cards for a long time of my life too. I didn't know what I was going to do, but I continuously invested in myself. Yoga is investing in yourself. When I learned the power of returning to my breath and moving my body, and how good that makes you feel because of the endorphins that you release, because you naturally feel better when your muscles and your body and your joints move easier. You
Mm-hmm.
naturally feel better when you can breathe deeply and have all that good oxygen flow. So I would say that was really like the first thing that was given to me that allowed me to cope with trauma and to deal with the trauma within my body and to release the trauma from my body. And
Mm.
then continuing to follow yoga brought me to so many beautiful people whose heart matched mine. And going on yoga retreats introduced me to so many people who, like, I still love. Like, you build such good connections with people when you just spending a week of taking care of yourself within community. Those people that you meet are like lifelong friends because they're strangers in the beginning, but you end up just telling them everything, like your whole life story by the end of it, just because it's like, I don't even know you, but we share the same heart. We share the same, like, energy in the fact that, like, of course, when you like the same things and you like to take care of yourself, I like to take care of myself too.
Right.
And and
Right.
you're just growing together and building those connections. So yeah.
So, and I'm glad that you brought that up in regards to you meeting people, y'all having shared energy and being able to talk about it. That's going back to my initial question about mental health and how important it is to, deal with mental health. So, as you were talking about being a survivor and overcoming things, and you brought up some people who helped you along the way. One person that kind of came to my mind that you were telling me your story because it was your brother and your father. But how did your mom deal with everything when she found out what you were going through?
So my mom is amazing. She is the peacemaker. She is the matriarch. She is a nurturing person. And I don't actually remember I just remember the last time that my brother tried to strangle me. I was 16, and it was a long break where he hadn't put his hands on me in a long time. So it was shocking to me. It came out of nowhere. I might have been 15 actually, but he my parents were actually home this day. Usually they weren't home when he would do stuff like that. And my mom was in the bathroom using the bathroom. But when she heard the commotion of what was going on, because I was sitting in a chair like this one, I was sitting in a computer chair, and he came up from behind me and started choking me like this. And so I'm like trying to, like, it ain't never been in that position before. I didn't know how to defend myself. And
Mm-hmm.
so but she came out of the bathroom and she started punching him and got him off of me. I was like, that's what I'm talking about, mama. My mama
Mm.
don't play.
Right.
You're not about to just be, strangling my daughter like that. And I do remember other times too, she would call my other big brother, who he wasn't blood related to us, but he was my sister's best friend. And so she would call him and he would come knock some sense into my brother when he would um when when his abuse towards me was real bad. And so there were different things that she tried, but her love, I would say, is the strongest of them all, because she loved us so deeply and she made sure that she took time to spend time with each one of us without us even really realizing and knowing that she was with the other child. Like, I don't even know how she did it. My mom got superpowers because she did a really good job nurturing us. All three, I have three blood siblings, and all three of us are completely different, but we are all successful in our own ways. Like, so just to kind of give you a full picture, and my brother's not going to appreciate this, but my brother is the asshole cop. My sister is like she might not like this term either, but she's a popular mean girl. Then I'm the free rebel that's just always, I am free. I am the hippie of the family, no drugs related to that. I don't think that hippie means that I smoke weed and all that stuff, but like, um yeah, I'm just like the free rebel. And my sister is like the the nerd who always had herself together. She also likes the luxury and she does whatever she needs to do. Like, she handles her business. She's very good at handling business, at managing things, because she's the oldest. So she's been managing us for a very long time. And then, my brother is very much, you're supposed to follow the law. This is how things are going to be. You got to listen to me because I'm a police officer. So, yeah.
Well, good luck telling that to a free rebel.
Exactly. That's why he didn't like me.
So, with that being said, is there a relationship with your father and your brother now?
Yeah, so my father recently passed. He just
My
passed in,
condolences.
thank you. He just passed in September. So that's still very new. But I would say that me and my brother very much respect each other. And me and my sister, we have a good relationship. We're still very different. So, we kind of butt heads sometimes, as sisters do, but there is a deep, deep love between us. Now, my brother, it's a respect. I would not
Mm.
say it's a deep, deep love, but there is a respect. Like, if we ever need to, like, if he needs somebody to watch the kids and I'm in town, of course I will, because I love my nephews. And if there's ever like a family thing or whatever, and we're in the same room, we may not have a conversation, but we're gonna say hi and bye, and can you pass me that? We might play spades together, and then that'll be the extent of our ish talking. But my mother taught us to respect people, and I
Mhm.
would say that she is the one that made sure that we stayed together and we had a respectful relationship. So yeah.
Do you feel like from him like a sense of remorse and guilt for what he took you through during your,
We
your
talked about
years?
it. Yeah, we talked about it when he was married. I believe maybe him and his wife talked about it a little bit, because he did apologize and we did talk about it. So, and that's another reason why I feel more open to talk about it too, because it's not like I'm out here telling the world. And I never had a conversation with him about it.
Right.
We've talked, so it is what it is. It happened. So yeah.
So my last question in regards to that traumatic experience is, we know in life adversity hits it in certain ways, and a person's faith in God could dwindle, or they could be like, "Why God?" or "I can't stand you, God. Why me?" So, how much of your faith in God was challenged during those times?
So I was born with a spiritual connection, actually. Um, and I was raised in a religious cult, so that kind of it groomed my mind and it brainwashed me for a good majority of my life. But then I became free from that. When I went to the Navy, they disfellowshipped me. They disowned me from that cult because you're not allowed to go to college or go to the military.
Mm,
And so when I did that, they automatically disowned me. And that's when I started going to like a regular church. And then I realized then more of my spiritual gifts started to come into fruition. And as I started to evolve more and more, that's when I realized that like Christianity and the Christian church doesn't know what to do with me. They don't understand
mm,
my gifts. And because I would be going, I'd be like, I had this dream and this happened, blah, blah, blah. And like nobody was really, I've been to so many different churches, and I also do not mess with the lie of the white Jesus. And so I was already like hopping from place to place because I'm like, what you not gonna do is lie to me.
right, right.
And so, and I'm not about to, when I say I am free, I'm not choosing slavery in any form, and we got to free our minds. So, no, I'm not choosing colonial Christianity. I do want to go to Ethiopia, and I do want to learn the original Christianity before slavery. But I'm actually very much a person that likes to um, study different faiths and to check in with my intuition and what I know and what my gifts have always shown me, and to see what resonates and to see what doesn't. So, you know, I wouldn't say that there was ever a time where I felt like, God, why have you forsaken me? There was definitely a time where I blamed myself because the cult that I was raised in taught you that you are the problem. You're the sinner. You
Mm,
should have shame. And so it was really me learning how to love myself and to realize that I'm not a sinner. I'm not someone who I shouldn't be ashamed of myself. That I can have pride in who I am. I can be in the fullness of myself and know that yes, this isn't like I'm grateful. This is a gift, you know. So I've learned how to realize that it is a gift and to just have gratitude and to constantly study and to just give love and be love and to realize that all different walks of faith at the core is love. So if there's anybody who is spewing hate, then they are not even walking in the faith that they believe that they are walking in, or they're actually the evil that they are claiming everybody else is.
mm. Say that. Say that. I love it. I love it. So let's talk about you getting into, because you talked about yoga, and you brought up in regards to the self-expression, everything that you've been going through. But talk about writing. What was it about writing that intrigued you, that you say, I want to go and take that path as well?
Yeah, writing was always very sacred to me because it was for me. I didn't share it with anybody. It wasn't like I couldn't get in trouble for writing.
Mhm.
So writing just always seemed safe. So I would say that that's why that was the first thing that I picked up was writing. And I could get lost in writing. I could
Mm.
write a story about something. I could even like and when I was in high school, I actually wrote a novel, and I haven't published it yet because I knew that I wanted to relook at it as an adult and to revise it. But I used to love to read and I used to escape in books. And so for me, I'm like, okay, I wanted to write a story of like what would have happened if I would have gotten pregnant after like my first assault or something like that. And so I just kind of took an idea and I ran with it. And I love the book. It's really good. I have a few books that I just need to publish. And so, you can kind of take your story and create whatever you want with your own story, or you could just get out whatever you need to get out of your mind and process the things that have happened to you in your writing. And it's a sacred thing. You could burn it if you definitely don't want anybody else to read it. It's just something that you can do to let it all out and to address and to face certain things that you may not want to share with anybody.
That's amazing. And then you get into from writing to spoken word. Well, no, actually, before we get to spoken word, you mentioned this a few times, and I definitely look forward to hearing this story. But why the Navy?
It's very superficial. But I like the uniforms of the Navy, and all I knew was I was not going to be a part of that cult anymore, and I was not going to be in debt going to college. And I had got my CNA in high school,
Mm.
and I thought that I was going to go and be a nurse because they were going to pay for my college, but then I was still like, man, this still feel like slavery. I don't know about this. And I didn't like that a lot of people what I noticed while I was in school is a lot of the nurses didn't really care about their patients. And I know how deeply I care. And I just felt like burnout was waiting to happen with that job. And so, even at my very grown young age, I looked at all of those things and I said, you know what? The Navy is going to pay me and they're going to pay for me to go to college afterwards. I'm going to the Navy. And I didn't even really, I wrote out a list of questions. I went to the office and I asked him all the questions that I needed to ask him. And I said, okay, I want to join. And he looked at the guy that brought me up there. He was like, where did you find her? And he signed me up.
Wow. So now you're in the Navy. Was it everything that you thought it was going to be, or what was one of your, or what was the takeaways from your time in the Navy?
So what I realized is that there are pros and cons of everything that you do in life.
Mhm.
And um there were a lot of cons. But um yes, while I was I loved being able to travel. That was a great thing about it. But I am a free rebel, so it was very hard to, listen to these people who trying to yell at me like they own me, um, which they do believe, and technically you do sign away your life to them.
Mhm.
Um, but God, the universe, source, however you want to call it, knows what I need because I had a very plush job. So when we were on deployments, I was staying in hotels. I was special ops. I was actually the first African American woman to hold the position of an in-flight technician on the P3 Orion. And
Okay.
so thank you. I had a
Oh.
flex job. I did pretty well for myself. And I give praise to my brother for that because my brother was a mechanic at the time. He
Mhm.
went to North Tech for the mechanics program. And with that, he taught me some things about cars. And so when I joined the Navy, I scored very high in math and mechanics because I was always naturally good in math. And then he taught me some mechanics. And so I was a technician, but I was air crew. So I had a really good job. And so the cons were the people
Mm.
and how much women are not respected and how much they push sexual assault under the rug and will move the victim around. They will move the person who was violated. They told me, they were like, okay, well, whenever we go back on deployment, you're going straight to the desert and you ain't going nowhere else. And I
Mm.
was like, y'all got me messed up. Y'all gonna do that to me? But I ended up being able to get out before. Well, I wasn't going. And so I was like, either I'm gonna kill myself or y'all for let me out. And they let
Mm,
me out because I was like, what I'm not gonna do is that again.
right.
And because I did 2 tours in just my 4 years. As soon as I got out of school, I met my command on deployment. So it was just shock after shock after shock. And it was a lot going on. And yeah. So I don't remember what your question was.
Uh, you already saying it. It was pretty much your experience of what your takeaway from being in the Navy and everything. So that right there, that says a lot, which now goes back to what I was going to mention earlier. But what was it about spoken word that you wanted to go ahead and get into that as well?
Just that expression, just being able to express myself. I really was working on my throat chakra and speaking up about things. And so just having the platform and being around other creatives and people who would inspire me, that was what really pulled me into the open mics. And then also, like, open mics is the perfect place for you to mess up. Like you
Exactly.
said, there's no judgment. So I could come in and I could practice and I can do, all the things and not have to be perfect. And that was exactly what I needed, to just be human.
And then, as you said, that someone told you, like, man, wait a minute, you got a voice. So now, and this the part when I said earlier about seeing the growth, because when you first was on stage at Word Up, I felt, the nervousness, the just trying to break out of your shell. And
Hmm.
then I feel like it was a period where maybe I didn't see you for a little minute, but then when you came back to Word Up again, then it's like all of a sudden, you a rapper. And
Yeah.
I start seeing I start seeing the confidence, and something
Hmm.
that I always like to use on all my shows I do is progress is sexy.
Mm.
So that's to anyone who's doing whatever, from starting from here, me to all of a sudden you lead singing, you know what I'm saying? You holding,
Yeah.
you're finding your niche, and that's what I saw in you, which I was like, that's dope. You know what I'm saying? That's the progress. And especially now hearing your story and everything that you have came from, that one, it wasn't easy, but as the song says, look at you now. So
Hmm.
just talk about the opportunity from you starting from just spoken word to now being a rapper and coming to your own doing that.
Yeah, so I mean, it really started with voice lessons. So when I started doing the voice lessons, I also started working with Timothy. He was going as who is Timothy at the time, and he he also is very talented in producing and making beats and stuff like that. And um, I think I used to find beats off of BeatStars or something like that and YouTube. And I would just like some beats that I found though, like it was a Joey Badass beat that I loved that a lot of people didn't got on. I would have him remake those beats because I knew that he could do a really great job. And so I did voice lessons with him. I started just listening to beats and naturally it started coming. Another person who inspired me was D1, who is a Christian rapper. And my best friend at the time, she had took me to a D1 concert for my birthday. And being there, seeing like kids in the crowd and hearing lyrics that were positive but still dope, that inspired me to want to write music that I would feel proud of my nephews and my niece hearing. So, I knew I naturally had the words because I'm a writer and a poet. So naturally, yes, I'm a rapper too. I got a great cadence. So that's, rap is basically poetry on a beat. And so, yeah.
Thank you.
So
I'm sorry about that. Thank you. I have been saying that. I feel like rap is definitely just it's spoken word, but you just got to beat to it.
yeah, yeah. So that was really it. Just me building my confidence is what helped me be able to transition and grow my sound and my music. Even with like my first album and my EP, I've always had poetry and music. There's always been a mix of rap songs and singing and poetry. And I'm working on a new album right now that really speaks to who I am now and my growth. And
Mm.
this album been like 2-3 years in the making, so it's gonna be good when it actually comes out. But it's a more of a it's a self-healing album, so it really does really talk about my healing journey and how I got to this space that I'm in now.
So you brought up something that I've also been saying, especially after I took my wife to a concert. It was with Lecrae, Andy Mineo, and a slew of other amazing gospel hip hop artists. People are sleeping on gospel hip hop. Truthfully, I mean,
Hmm.
as great as you have the Kendrick Lamars and etc., it's just as deep and just as talented in the gospel hip hop. People are
Yeah.
truly sleeping on gospel hip hop. And you said something earlier about them being able to get everyone going by using by using
Hmm.
positivity.
Hmm.
People are truly sleeping on gospel hip hop artists, man. They are really
Yeah.
doing the thing.
And my goal was to make music that was not for a specific religion.
Mhm.
I don't want to do that. I think that can be negative. I like for my music to be positive for all people. You insert your God. You insert
Mhm.
your faith, what you believe, insert that for yourself. But I'm not going to force what I believe onto anybody. So for me, it was really just about people who aren't Christian still being able to have positive music to listen to. Just because I'm not this particular religion doesn't mean that I want to listen to the rah rah. Like I still want positive spiritual music that isn't tied to a religion.
So, with that being said, you being a lady, what are your thoughts with the state of music right now? That's part one. And then part two, the image that some women rappers performers are portraying themselves now, and especially when you bring in a certain audience that look at them a certain way. Talk about that for me.
Honestly, it's all orchestrated to be exactly the way it is. And I am just grateful that we're in a space where people can be independent artists and we can have good music. You may not be able to hear good music on the radio, but because they want to keep you in a certain place. But it's accessible. You can go on YouTube and listen to sound healing and nature sounds. And also we got artists like Janae Aiko. We've always had good healing music. We have India Arie, we have Erica Badu, we got Nipsey Hussle, you know, reform gangsters. We got AJ McQueen, like we got good music. You just have to
Yeah.
choose it.
And talk about in regards to how there are certain rappers or singers who women rappers or singers who portray themselves and maybe some may say over sexualized way, or they're catching the wrong attention, etc. What are your thoughts on that right now?
Um Honestly, there are some I listen to a lot of like the stuff that I used to listen to because I used to listen to all of that while I would work out and like lift heavy weights. Um but it's getting even worse, I think. To
Mm.
where now when I hear some things, I just be like, "Oh my god." Like I feel old. Like, is this what they're listening to these days?
If
And
you
I'm
feel
young.
old, if you feel old, I mean, look at all this. I ain't have all this when I
Yeah.
first started. You know what I'm
Cause
saying?
I'll
But
be like, are people listening to this? People like this for real? Like, I don't understand it. Now I like Glorilla because I don't feel like Glorilla is super sexualized. Um I think that her image is starting to kind of go that way, but I love like the raw. Give me the real. I don't like all that other stuff. And I've always been a Meg Thee Stallion fan, but I honestly don't know what is going on now because I have not been listening to that type of music at all now that I've like moved out of the States. And you know, I listen to mostly like reggae music and like
Mhm.
healing music and stuff like that now. So I really don't even know what all is going on nowadays. But when I do hear some things, or like I went on my Instagram and I seen her whole body out, and it's like, how much do you really want to show us your booty? Like, how much are you really going to just keep doing the same thing? Because one thing that I loved about her in the beginning was she talked about, safe sex. She talked about getting your education. She was talking about stuff. And not that I can say that I really know what that type of music is doing right now because I haven't been listening to it for at least a year and a half. Um, I when I was listening to it, I feel like it was a lot better than what it's starting to become. I think once our fellow St. Louis and Sexy Red started talking about her booty hole color, that things started to
Change. Okay, she can talk about that. Well, I'm gonna keep going deeper now. Yeah,
things started to get real interesting after that.
yeah,
So I don't know. I kind of like I was like, all right, I'm gonna exit stage left for a little bit.
yeah.
Yeah.
Now, but Megan, now I know that. Well, for those who don't know, she's dating Klay Thompson. He played with the Golden State Warriors. Now he with the Dallas Mavericks. Uh, so maybe her music may start being more mature because now she's in a different place in her life. I think about Aaliyah. When she first came out, she had a certain image. And then she started getting to the more than a woman stage. You know what I'm saying? Rock the boat stage. And unfortunately, she passed away.
She
But
was still very classy though.
right, right,
Aaliyah was very
right,
classy.
right.
And there's always a way to do it because I like Janet Jackson.
Mm,
Like women, we are sexy.
mm.
So yeah, we're going to be sexy in our music. I mean, that's natural.
And
But, there's,
oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead. You go ahead first.
I was just going to say that like there is a way to make it creative. And then there's a
Without
way
having
to
to say
just
it.
be like sex sells. So this is what I'm going to do.
Right. And that's what I'm gonna bring up is my wife adores Beyonce, and you never hear Beyonce say my pee is wet and whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I love Beyonce too.
She'll
Yeah.
use a metaphor, and it'll be just as sexy than her saying the actual raunchy stuff.
Yeah, and that's my whole thing. Just be creative.
Right.
Like I think nowadays, like everybody they want the money and they want the fame. So they're willing to look any type of way and say any type of thing in order to get that. That's not special to me.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing. Be creative. So with that, because you are a creative yourself, so talk about. I feel like this world has shifted so much. I want to say COVID probably helped that out a lot. Is that it start bringing out the creative era? So talk about being a creative for you and how that's changed your life.
Well, I was creative well before 2020.
Yeah.
But I will say that 2020 helped me to organized my first film. So I actually turned my EP into a film. And then after I wrote and produced my film, I realized like I need to learn how to actually do this in a structured way. I learned a lot, but I'm one of those people that I just dive right in with my vision and I make it happen. And once I did it, I realized that I want to do it more, but in a bigger way. And so I did a course with Black Film Space, and I learned how to like formally write screenplays and stuff like that. And so it gave me time to do more studying with the things that I wanted to do and to sit with um, more things that will pour into myself and my creativity. It allowed me to pour into more education. And also financially, it allowed me to start learning more about investing and things like that as well.
That's what's up, man. Once again, this is Smooth Conversations, where the conversations are always smooth. It is your boy Smooth with three O's, and I have my special guest.
Miss Fluid.
And we are having a amazing conversation. Once again, I appreciate you taking time out and just sharing your story. I hope that for those listening, tuned in right now, that they are inspired. Feel free to continue to share this stream right now. Leave questions if you have a amazing story. Leave comments. We want to interact with you. So bring your peoples on, Miss Fluid. Let's get even more people tuned in and enjoy this conversation. Talk about your wellness brand, Flowing with Fluid.
Yeah, so as I told you before, yoga was what really kept me on this earth. It kept me grounded, and it kept me sane for a while, and it still does. It helps me address traumas as they may rearise, because our memories exist. It's not like they just go away, and so finding ways to sit with what we each have been through. And that's what yoga has done for me. And yoga and sound healing, because music and sound has been such a important part of my healing journey as well. And so my brand, Flowing with Fluid, it started with me being a yoga instructor. I went and got certified through the Yoga Alliance first. They taught me how to teach yoga. And then I met my guru and I learned what yoga actually is. So I kind of did it in a way where, like, I got the Western certificate to say that I can teach yoga. And then I met an Indian woman who teaches yoga and she has a yoga school. And so I got my 200 hour from her, and she taught me the heritage behind the movements. She taught me the history and like so much more than what I learned when I was just learning how to teach the movements. And of course, in the school, the westernized training, it does do more talk about how to use yoga to balance your moods and how to use it to release trauma from like PTSD and stuff like that. So it definitely is helpful. Um, I just know that my practice expanded so much learning from someone who could really teach me a whole a holistic view of what the practice actually is and how we can utilize it. And she also does sound healing. So I when I first started teaching yoga, I used sound healing, but I didn't even really know about singing bowls and all of the different tones and frequencies and how they heal your body. I didn't really know about all those things yet. And so when I met her, she taught me about the language, the Sanskrit language, that actually the way that you speak it and the sounds that you make, we're producing those healing frequencies with our own mouths and our own body from a whole language. When we think about the English language and how we speak to each other, even with the basic things like good morning, and even talking about how people die and like calling it a wake and calling it a funeral, and like just all of the things that there's a lot of death in our language that we don't even really recognize. And so she taught me a living language. And so, we use that language in our mantras, and it can be translated into English so that you know what you're saying. But use that language because the whole way that everything is pronounced and the sounds, um, how they resonate, they're healing for the person speaking and the person receiving. So it really just expanded my practice in a whole new way. And so now that's why I share with other people. This is gift. It's something that helped me, and now I'm able to help other people in a way that's holistic. Because a lot of these people, they want you to come to this yoga class, and they like. Okay, let me not talk about other people. Let me talk about myself.
No, no, it's good that you said because I was going to get to the holistic part, because that's been a word that I've been hearing a whole lot more. Holistic approach, or holistic healing, or holistic medication. Um, One of the things that I always hear in regards to go to the hospital, and I mean, you brought up earlier when you were a nurse, during your younger years, and how you felt like the care of being a nurse isn't what you feel it needs to be. And then you hear some stories about people going to the hospital for this, for that. You ask what's going on. You don't get a straightforward answer. You got to get 15 million opinions. You're told to take the brand prescribed, what everyone else knows, medications, but you're not given more of a holistic, something that can actually possibly do even better than the name brand stuff that you see in shelves, what I'm saying, that you see at pharmacies. So just talk about how important it is, especially for, not saying the other races don't matter, but it feels like for us, we're always left behind with, we have to dig in and find out more about what certain things can actually benefit us to help us live a more healthier life. So talk about having more of a holistic approach to a lot of things, especially in your health.
Yeah, so it really, our health is holistic. Everything around us does affect us. So holistic just means that you're looking at every single aspect. You're looking at a person as a whole being. And so with that, even in my 200 hour, we talked about nutrition. We talked about how like you shouldn't be coming to yoga full. Yoga is actually best practiced on an empty stomach. And we talked about different herbs and different ways of eating. We talked about Ayurveda. Ayurveda is a practice of first of all, there are so many different types of nutrition and like studies on what works for different people. So always make sure that you are finding what works for you. Me, I just study my own body, and that's how I know what I need to eat. But I really learned how there are certain foods that are warming, certain foods that are cooling, and depending on your body type and how you absorb food and how you absorb nutrients. And you mentioned too, like, melanated people, the way that we absorb nutrients is different than someone who lacks melanin. So, making sure that we are looking at the wholeness of ourselves and knowing that we can't just take information that didn't even use our bodies as like the blueprint of what actually needed to be helped. So when we're looking at a practice, when we're looking at a lifestyle, we need to look at who does it actually work for? Do they look like you? Or not? Who are they're telling you that you're overweight according to these charts, but who did they create these charts based off of? So yes, everything matters. If your digestion is upset, if your stomach is upset, you aren't going to be well within your energy and within your body. So what you're feeding yourself makes a difference. If you know that you need to be active on a certain day, maybe don't eat something that's going to make you heavy and sluggish. So just taking that time to really focus on the nutrition. And that's another reason why I have chosen to live most of my life in Costa Rica, because I can get fresh fruits and veggies. I can eat food that isn't overly processed. I can grow my own food. Really, I strongly believe that everything that we need to be healthy and to live like a full, healthy, happy life, we have everything around us to do it. We can grow our own food and heal ourselves from the medicine that the earth gives us naturally. How do you think that they make these drugs that they give you at the hospitals and from that doctors prescribe. They make the drugs from the herbs. So if you could just go to the herbs, then you don't need the side effects of the drugs.
Mhm.
It's always better to work with somebody who knows what they're doing, who has been studying herbalism, who has been practicing these things, who, was maybe raised in a culture that isn't so colonized, to where they have that grandmother that is the medicine woman and she can teach you. They have in the village, they have their medicine woman who you can go to if you break a bone and stuff like that. Like I believe that our healing starts with us looking at our traditions. It starts with us being real about who we actually are and how we have thrived well before colonialism, and how much our lives changed after colonialism.
So just so you know, I'm noting down right now for a future trip for my wife and I to get at you as we go to Costa Rica, because
Yes,
we got
yes,
to
I
make
love Costa Rica.
it. Yeah, we're gonna
I
have to
love
make that happen. We got to
Mhm.
wait till stuff die down. We know what that man in DC been doing in Venezuela and other in areas, so we got to make sure things die down. But when it's time, I'm gonna get at you. We gonna go out to Costa Rica and make it happen.
Yes, let me know when you come.
Yeah, definitely got to make that happen. So going back to your brand, Flowing with Fluid, you was getting to it, but talk about that feeling of being able to leave a positive impact doing what you're doing to now help others in their journey.
Yeah, it's really been beautiful because really everybody can do yoga. And that's really what I was about to get at too, is that like sometimes when people make it seem like this is you need to be looking like this when you do yoga, and no. Yoga is about how you feel. Yoga is about um what your body needs, tuning into your body to even observe what what areas within your body you may need to strengthen, and what areas need more love and more gentleness. Where do you want to challenge yourself, and where should you give yourself more grace? It really is a holistic practice because it can tell you a lot about what you have going on. Even your breath. When you pay attention to your breath, if you are huffing and puffing or you're anxious, notice how that affects your breath.
Mm.
Notice how it affects your breath when you just go ahead and slow down. When you take that time to really just connect with your breath. Notice how it feels when you just start your day stretching your arms up all the way to the top and then exhaling down and opening up your rib cage and making sure that you fully extend your lungs. We don't always fully extend our lungs, which is crazy because we need our lungs to live. Like we take a lot of things for granted that happen naturally because we naturally breathe. But when you think about the things that you naturally do them because you need to do them to survive. So we should also do that consciously sometimes so we can, live.
Right.
you know? Yes. And I just love being able to help people feel good within their bodies and within themselves. A lot of people come to my classes and they're like, I have never experienced a yoga class like this. Like, this was amazing. I feel good. And like for me, everybody's going at their own pace. I don't make you feel like you need to look like the next person next to you. Everybody is an individual. Yoga is supposed to look different between each and every person because we each have experienced different things in our life and live different lives. So we're going to be tight in different areas. Like, yeah, there's going to be similarities between people because a lot of us do a lot of the same things. But individuality is definitely like a thing that we have to be aware of. Now, yoga means to unify.
Mm.
And so when you're doing yoga, you are unifying your breath with the body. You're unifying your mind with the breath and with the body. You are really looking at the connection between you and the world around you there's so many things that we can learn from yoga. And if you can just come to a class just wanting to feel good within your body, and you will leave with so much more. Any problem that you have, we can use yoga to help you address that. And I mean like anything,
Mm.
even finances. Like, you can use yoga to help. Yoga and meditation. And of course, with that, also breath work is always involved. If they're not talking about what you need to be doing with your breath, I would think twice about their class.
Yeah, I've been considering getting to some yoga and everything too. So I'm glad that you brought that up. Well, I'm glad just having you on the show because it's definitely making me more aware of a lot of things I want to get into for this year. So, how has it been with men being a part of your classes? Have you been seeing an uptick on men at all?
Yeah, I appreciate every time men come to my class because y'all need it. Y'all really need love. Like like
Hmm.
for real. And so I love that men trust me and to teach yoga for them. I really feel honored every time men come to my class. And I typically have one or two men in every class, which I really appreciate. I love that. My first yoga retreat ended up being all women, but my retreats are co-ed because I feel that men get left out of the healing equation a lot. There are a lot of spaces for women. And, a lot of the times when I do see healing spaces for men, there's not always a leader within that who also has a healthy family life with a woman.
Mm.
And I think that that's very important. And so I'm actually hosting a men's retreat. I'm co-hosting because I'm a woman. But I'm hosting a men's retreat in Peru, June 13th through the 19th in 2027. So all of that is going to be on my website, www.flowingwithfluid.com. That's where I post about all of my retreats. And we actually have a celebrity guest coming. So I'm very
Okay.
excited for that one. Yeah, it's gonna be really good. It's yoga and sound healing. And my first yoga retreat that I went on was at this same facility in Peru. And it's in the mountains. The air quality is amazing. Like I love to breathe in Peru. Like the
Mm.
food is really good, but also like um just everything about the environment makes you feel good too. And so with this, we're going to do excursions. We're going to have fun, of course. But my co-facilitator is a man. I'm here to help with that gentleness. I asked my friend, one of my male friends, um, when I was thinking about hosting this, because I was given this vision to do this, but I'm like, I'm a woman. Like, how am I gonna host a men's retreat? And he was like, I wouldn't even know I was a man unless a woman was standing next to me. So yes, we need your presence. Like, so
Y'all heard?
I was like, okay, okay. I was like, all right, I'll do it. So yeah, I'm just grateful for the opportunity to be there for men because I love men. Like y'all are amazing and y'all need love. And we can't talk about having healthy families unless we talk about men healing. And men love having women around. Like I actually don't really know a lot of men who want to go on a men's retreat that there are no women.
Hmm.
So,
Yeah.
and I mean, there's going to be women there. So, couples are welcome. It's a men's retreat. But I understand a woman being like, I'm not about to just send my man on a retreat with single women.
Right. Cross
No,
country
no,
and
no, no. Like,
everything.
right. Yeah, no, like you come too, encourage your men to come, because us women, we do get our men to do a lot of things. Men don't always take care of themselves. And that is part of us as the nurturers. We help men take care of themselves because they are doers. They want to provide, they want to do all the things. We put a lot of pressure on men to do that. Society puts a lot of pressure on men to do that, even if we're not. So I just wanted to provide a space for men to come and to heal and to also have that gentle guidance from a woman. And also, their time where it is only men, because there will be men on these spaces. And then me and the spouses and, our massage therapists, like, we'll be off doing our own thing and chilling and having our own vacation. But it's really for the men. Like, the men are going to have their, like, specific stuff for them.
Yeah, we had to go ahead. Wifey, if you're watching right now, you probably already had to see about flowingwithfluid.com and making this happen in
Yes.
2027, because I'm ready for it now. Let's take a flight. Let's go.
Man, Peru is beautiful. I love Peru. I love it so much. I don't go back to a lot of places more than once, but Costa Rica and Peru have been my two places that I frequent.
Okay, I'm loving it. I'm loving it. Once again, smooth conversations, where the conversations are always smooth. Keep them comments coming, or the likes and shares, and let's get more people, of course, to be tuned in. You brought up family. Now, just from hearing your story and seeing or hearing what you have gone through, do you feel? My wife just left a message.
Okay, yes, come
There we
on.
go. Back in now.
Yes.
But with you doing what you're doing, always, traveling, making things happen, of course, doing your passion, doing what you love to do. Have you seen yourself, or do you see yourself, should I say, having a family of your own? One to have kids.
Yes,
Okay.
for sure. That's another reason why I want Black men to heal.
Come on, get right, and let's have a family. I mean, it's true, because as they always say, don't go into a new situation, if you ain't healed from your past. Because what good are you going to be if you're trying to move on and progress in life, but you got something that's still holding you back, or something that you haven't recovered from? It doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, for sure. And I do believe that,
I see what you're doing. I see what you're doing.
Yeah, and I do believe that, you can be there for people while they're going through things, but you just have to make sure that you are honoring yourself as well.
Right.
We shouldn't be, just overpouring into someone else without filling our own cup. And that person has to respect your boundaries. I have another poem called Relationships, where I talk about, like, women putting eggs in a basket that they don't even have access to. Like, women, we will make up a whole relationship that we have with a man in our mind.
Yeah.
And just think that that's what it is. And they are going through something, and they constantly telling us, like, I'm not ready for that.
Right.
And then we just think that we could change the man. We can't do that. But what we can do, we can be a friend. And we can love them from afar, and we can continue to work on ourselves and not block ourselves off for somebody who's telling us that they're not ready, or someone that we clearly see is not ready.
Yep, I love it. Hey, she been dropping gems all show long. If y'all haven't been catching these gems that she been dropping, you can definitely rewind this as many times you want to, watch this episode as many times as you like, as soon as this stream is over. This part of the segment is brought to you by Smooth Moments. If you've seen past episodes, Fluid, or maybe you haven't, or for those who haven't, but the guests never know what I'm gonna do in this part of the show. But I like to highlight certain things that came across my eyes and bring it to the forefront and talk about it. So with that being said, the Miss Fluid that I'm speaking to now, what would you say to this girl right here?
Oh. Ooh wee. What would I say to this girl right here? I would say that and you are right. Because I knew a lot. This girl right here, she knew a whole lot. And people tried to act like she was wrong, but she was right. She knew exactly why. So, like, the first 5 years of my life, I didn't talk to anybody outside of my family. But like I told you, I was raised in a religious cult. I knew back then, that them people wasn't right. And That's why I ain't talked to none of them. I came out a rebel. I came out to shake things up, and that's exactly what I did, and I was right for it.
That's what's up. And how about this young lady right here?
Oh, shoot, the same thing. I love this picture though. That's such a cute picture. Um, but yeah, I'll probably tell her the same thing.
And tell everyone what high school you went to.
Hazelwood Central.
Okay.
Oh wow, you pulled up some throwbacks. This is from me running cross country. That was the only sport. My siblings are mad because I was the only kid in the family that was allowed to play a sport, and I
Wow.
really
Why
just
is
wanted
that?
to exercise because of the quote. They
Gotcha.
didn't they didn't allow you to spend any extra time with people who were of the world.
And you are not alone in regards to going to Hazelwood Central. My wife went to Hazelwood Central as well.
Hey, yes. Central done changed since we came up out of there.
uh, and so cross country, that was the only sport that you played?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. And I see you got a medal. So how successful were you in cross country?
Not very. That was probably an achievement award. I think I just finished the 5K.
That's funny. That's funny. And the wife agrees, yes, a whole lot has changed with Hazelwood Central.
Yeah.
And this moment right here.
Yes, that was that cross country? Yeah, that was still cross country. Yeah.
Look
Yeah,
at
and
young
I love
Queen.
both of these women right here. They were amazing and still are amazing.
Do
Yeah.
you still have relationships with those from the Navy at all?
Yes, I still have one really good friend from the Navy. Her name is Phoebe.
That's what's up.
She lives in Houston. So Houston is another one of my hubs naturally because I go see her a lot.
And I know that you said earlier that you were just playing cross country, but look like you want to play some baseball too.
Ah, yeah, that was us going to a family Cardinals game.
Mm.
And that Cardinals game, they gave out those pink bats. I love that little bat. I used to keep that bat in my car in case anybody tried it.
Try it if you want to. That's what's up. And then you got this photo here. I love the backdrop right here.
Oh, where I don't even remember.
That's at
Oh,
Forest
that
Park,
was
I
still
believe,
high
ain't it?
school.
Okay.
Yeah, so that was I remember that hairstyle. I got that hairstyle to go to prom. Was it prom? It was one of those dances. I really wasn't allowed to go to any of the dances, but I used to sneak and go.
That's that free rebel.
Yeah.
And you brought up nurse. I was gonna bring it up earlier, but I said I'll wait to do it now. But talk about this photo here.
I'm actually surprised at this photo, and I don't know where you found this because I'm like, was I allowed to have different color scrubs? I don't know, but also, even if I wasn't allowed, doesn't mean that I wasn't going to do it.
Free
But
rebel.
I did have an auntie that was a nurse, and I do remember that I did shadow her before, so I might have had those when I shadowed her. Because when I was in school, I think we had to have a certain color.
And what is something that you would love to say to your mom right now?
Oh, I love you, Mom. You are the best. I really could not ask for a better mother. I love you, and I just love seeing you happy and thriving and traveling with your new husband. And he is amazing. You did a very good job. um, and yes, I'm happy for you and very proud to say that you are my mother.
That's what's up, man. Shouts out to moms. Hopefully she is watching or will watch this down the line and be touched by this incredible conversation that we're having.
Yeah. Yeah, my mom has supported me everywhere that I've been. Like even in the Navy, she would come visit me at every single station that I was at. Like my mom has always been my biggest supporter, and she is the reason why I have been able to keep my fighting spirit and to be such a free person.
And I'm sure this person here as well has been right there through thick and thin.
Yes, that's my cousin.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, my
What up,
cousin
cuz?
Tabitha. We were. I haven't. I got to do better at keeping in touch with my cousin, to be honest with you. But she used to come up and spend a few weeks with us. So yeah, we were really close during the time. So we used to come up, and like then we also took another trip to New York together before. So yeah, I need to call her.
And I'm just seeing these photos and just seeing the evolution of fluid. You know what
Hmm.
I'm saying? And I see this photo, I'm like, woo, taking it back.
Yes. I think I was in the Navy
Wow.
already in this photo.
Okay. Wow.
Maybe. I don't know.
And with you telling me your story, this is like a perfect picture of uh what they always say, I don't look like what I've gone through.
Hmm. Yeah, I definitely don't look like what I've been through. Yeah.
And this was a cool moment here, the cool photo, and you being on stage. Let me get this
Yeah.
out the way real quick so you can see the whole thing. But let's talk about this photo here and this performance. Is this downtown?
Yes, this is downtown in Keener Plaza. This
Yep.
was during a Pride event. I can't tell you specifically which one, but it was a Pride event. And I was very grateful to be able to get on stage. I support my LGBT plus community. Okay, I love y'all, and I feel like everybody should be able to be free as long as consent is there.
Right,
Y'all can have fun,
right.
and children cannot give consent. So just throwing that out there.
There we go. And now you talking about coming out your shell. Look at this right here.
Yes, that's me. Like, yes, I'm reaching for my freedom. Can't keep it from me. Yeah, this was my EP. Yep.
Mm,
So this was the photo shoot that I did for my EP, Neo Trap. Mhm.
nice. And I did see earlier that after you had your first album out, that it took you pretty much, well, it went and expanded nationwide. Talk about that feeling of seeing your hard work and you're seeing the results of people being able to hear it, and you're seeing it grow and expand like wildfire, and
Mhm.
put you on the map in regards to that profession.
I'm really grateful. I've been on a lot of big stages, and people just saw my light, they saw my talent, and they wanted to share me with the world. So I'm very grateful for that. I'm very grateful for everybody who has encouraged me during my journey. People always encourage me and tell me that they love my music, they love my vibe. And even like I perform in Costa Rica, I've made a name, I'm making a name for myself there as well. And just to be so well received everywhere that I go is such a blessing. And it lets me know that I'm doing a good job. So I can only be grateful for that because these are gifts that were given to me.
That's awesome. Let's talk about this moment right here.
Yeah, so this is me graduating from UMSL with my bachelor's in social work. I graduated May 2020, so we weren't able to have an actual graduation.
Mm,
So, which sucks because I came home to go to school so everybody can come to my graduation. But my family is so dope that they surprised me and my sister-in-law because we were both in class together. We were both getting the same degree at the same time and we graduated together. So um they decked out my mom's backyard and had a whole celebration for us and made sure we got to walk across the stage.
now these next two photos, this is once again the elevation. Oh, look at your eyes. The elevation of fluid, but and this is, with all due respect, but you've always given me like a liberated vibe. You know what I'm saying? Be free, be you, but do it in a respectful and, as you said about Aaliyah, classy way. So I
Mm.
saw this photo, I'm like, okay, she coming out doing some like Lil Kim type stuff.
Oh, Oh, I'm nervous.
Bam.
Oh, this was fun right here. I was in New York, and I be manifesting things. I don't even be knowing what I'm doing half the time. Well, now I do, but back then I had no clue. I just knew that I was blessed, and I was like, I want to go to Afro Punk. Is it Afro Punk? Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I want to go to Afro Punk, but I ain't buy no ticket or nothing. I was like, but we getting in. I don't know how we getting in, but we getting in, and we ended up getting into Afro Punk for free. And Wag Dot is another St. Louis brand. And oh, thank you. That's my mama.
Oh, what's up,
I
mama?
love you, mama. um, and Wag Dot, it stands for "We're all gonna die one day," and he
Oh,
came
okay.
up with this brand after I don't know if he survived a suicide attempt or it was something with like him being suicidal and coming on the other side of it. And so when I heard about his brand, I'm in support of that because I had those thoughts as well, and I kept myself here. And so yeah, this was just me in New York having a great time at Afro Punk and seeing the display and wanting to just hit a little pose and yeah.
So speaking of poses, mom, you may want to close your eyes on this one because
Oh,
she
see
she
now you can't be getting inappropriate when my mom enters the room.
she came at the wrong time because look at that photo right there.
Yeah. Well, my mom was in the room for this one too.
Oh, okay, there we
So
go. Be good. Be good. All right.
yeah, like this when I got out of the Navy, I was really finding myself and figuring out,
Mhm.
what I want to do and how I want to do it and like, what's gonna stick. I was just trying a lot of new stuff. And Unlimited, she was putting on a fashion show and she really wanted live art. And she was like, "Would you be okay with your body being painted and being live art?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure, let's try. I've never done nothing like that." So, yeah, that was me being in my modeling bag. I grew up in a naked household. Like for us, being naked is not like a huge thing. It's not sexual to be naked. Like these are just our bodies. Like that's just is what it is. And which is another reason why I vibe with the Caribbean culture because like it's hot. We ain't gotta wear clothes.
Mhm.
It is not a big thing. Everybody naked. And so yeah, so this was just me being live art and I think I did a beautiful job.
And a question that I love to ask guests, who, is on the mic, is on the stage, but I see this photo. But
Mhm.
talk about for you that power of being on the mic, having that control of the audience. Everyone is focusing on you and what you're about to say or do on stage. Talk about that feeling for you as an artist.
Man, it feels good. It feels really good, especially the fact that, I do positive music and my goal is to uplift. And so to be able to have so many people in support of that and pouring back into me, while I'm on stage, it feels amazing. And this photo, like you can tell how happy I am in this
Right.
photo. I had so much confidence getting on that stage, particularly this day. And I was working with a live band and also with a vocal coach. And it just felt so good. My mom was in the room. My mom and my stepdad were both in the room. And it was a beautiful set. And it was my first time. Well, it was not my first time it wasn't my first time working with the live band or doing covers, but like this band was very professional and they were very good. And so it felt really good to get on stage with people who had the equipment and had the talent and were supportive of it being a beautiful show.
Mm, that's what's up, man. And like you said, you could just see the joy, the fulfillment, you being on stage and just being so happy. So that's what's up. And this photo here is cool too, man. Talk about this photo and you being your bag and someone behind you who you may know.
Yes. So, this was my first yoga retreat that I did in November in Costa Rica. And you see, my sister always got my back, okay? And she right behind me. That's I am Keish right there. And yes, Keisha was there. My other sister Candace, who's been on your show, she was there. She led a meditation workshop, and she's a doula. She's a full spectrum doula. She's an amazing person. She has six wonderful kids, and one of her daughter was there on the retreat as well. And my mom was there, and my good friend who was family as well, Aunt C, she was there. And it was just such a beautiful experience. Yeah, this is another photo of us. So then you see Oxy right next to me, then Candace, then Keish, and Khalees, who is Candace's daughter. She didn't want to get all the way in the water, so she's not in this photo. But it was very beautiful to have all of these different generations in on the retreat because Khalees is 19. Um, Anxie, she's in her 20s. I'm in my 30s, and I'm gonna leave everybody else's age out. But but we had all the generations there, like not all the generations, but like we had so much like wisdom and so much life and like I just love when we can have people of such a wide range be together and like everything that can be shared within that because we can learn from people younger and older than us. And it's always my goal. One of the reasons why I wanted to do yoga retreats was because I wanted to get young people out of the country or people out of the country period who may have never left the country,
Mm-hmm.
the states specifically, um and to expand people's worlds. And that was Khalees's first time being out of the country. She's only 19, but she's such an amazing person and she has so much wisdom too. Like it was just amazing. And Costa Rica is beautiful and magical. I'm going to be doing a surf and yoga retreat in Costa Rica too, so if anybody is
Let's
interested in surf,
go.
check out my website, www.flowingwithfluid.com, because all the details are going to be there. I have the little notes that I have right now, but that one's not completely set in stone, like with the dates and the location yet. So stay tuned for that one.
And this last photo, as we close out this segment, I think it speaks a lot of volumes. It to me, I want to say this photo I'm about to show is like everything I went through, God, my religion, is everything is shining down on me. All the positives are shining on me. I'm in peace. I'm in one. I'm happy. And this photo here, I think, is the perfect ending to this segment right here.
Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is in Thailand actually. And is at a river. We just went to a river. It wasn't even anybody else up there. And we don't know nothing about Thailand and the bugs that they have there or anything. And we climbed through the woods and, just made it. We just knew we wanted to go get in a little bit of water without there being so many people around. And there's so much tourism there. So we wanted to find a spot that was a little ducked off, and we definitely did. And the sun was shining right there. I had the water running, and I'm just this was just in 2025 too, so this was before the yoga retreat. But I'm in this space now where I really am in love with my life. And you know I have no regrets even with everything that I've been through. The fact that I'm here now living such a beautiful life, I don't care nothing about that. Like my life is so beautiful. So, and let me not say it like that. There's always going to be times where things come up because of what I've been through. But I am so grateful. to be here and to be able to live such a beautiful life.
That's awesome. So, with that being said, as we close down this amazing conversation, any special shout outs that you want to give? And I know you said the website, but yeah, any special shout outs that you want to go ahead and give out right now?
Shout out to you for having me.
Thank you. Thank you.
Shout out to my mama for giving birth to me and raising me to be free, and she really empowered each of her children and all of the children that she didn't even birth herself. Because everybody mama, she encourages us to all be ourselves and to play into our strengths. And she really looks at people for who they are, and she's taught me so much on how to love people where they are. And so I'm very grateful, very, very grateful. And I'm very grateful for my sisters. I'm grateful for just my friends, because now being in this new space, I'm meeting more friends that feel like they've been in my life forever and who really speak to my heart. And I'm just, yeah, shout out to everybody who has poured into me, who's given me love, who's been real with me, who's been genuine to me, who sees me, I see you and I appreciate you. And if you would like to join me on a retreat, make sure you check me out. Flowingwithfluid.com. I also have a YouTube channel where I talk about all of my travels. I am a world traveler. And so if you would like to travel with me, then come to a retreat. Or if that's not, in your plans right now, then go ahead and follow me on YouTube, Flowing with Fluid. I'm flowing with fluid everywhere. So I'm easy to find. And yeah, so if you got any questions about a retreat, hit me up and we can talk about it. Yes, I don't really know what else to say. So
No, you said enough. Thank you once again for your time. My last question as we end it officially is take away being an artist, take away being a wellness brand, take away being a yoga instructor, a poet, singer, rapper, director. Who is Nia Barnhart?
Nia Barnhart is free. She is a liberator. She is loving and powerful and helpful. She loves through acts of service and through gifts. I've learned that I love to give the same way that I like to receive. And I love people and I love myself, and I'm grateful. And I mean, you can say to take away those things, but all of those things are a part of me, and they do make me me because, well, they are things that I do because I am me. Yoga is a part of me, and I was doing yoga before I even knew what yoga was. I was sitting there and meditating, trying to levitate after watching the last Airbender, like as a child in my room, and so it was always something that was going to find me, because I was born with a spiritual connection. I was born remembering my past life. I, there's so many things about me that everybody might not believe, but that's okay. It's my truth, and I am grateful to be this living being that I am and this beautiful body that I was given. I'm just grateful for all of my gifts.
And with that being said, that's Smooth Conversations, where the conversations are always smooth. Miss Fluid, do me a favor, just stay on. We're going to do a little post-show wrap. Everyone else, thank y'all for tuning in. I hope that you all have enjoyed it. If you missed it, you can watch it again and again and again. It's going to be archived as soon as we are done with this stream. It has been a pleasure, Miss Fluid, to catch up with you. I'm proud of you. Glad just to see that you're doing so well and that you're happy.
Thank
That's the main
you.
thing. So it's amazing that you, from what you've gone through, that you're still here and you're living your life and you're enjoying it. So thank you for sharing your story. And I hope that everyone has been inspired. For everyone else, make sure y'all go ahead, go to smoothproductions.com. Once again, smooth with 3 O's. Or if you're watching, you can just use your device, your phone, scan the QR code and connect with Smoooth Productions. You'll see all the links. You'll see my website. You'll see any and all things that is within that Smoooth Productions umbrella. Shouts out to KBDR, Beat District Radio, my radio family. Check out their website, beatdistrictradio.com, and also download the app, Google Play and App Store. Smoooth Conversations, where the conversations are always smooth.
What you have just experienced was brought to you by Smoooth Productions. Until next time, stay tuned and stay smooth.